Black Power, Black Beauty, Black by popular demand. This is Black's History Month, a 28-day celebration of Black exploitation films. Devil's Express was a little bit of a disappointment, but only because of the potential. At first, I thought it was another one of those two separate movies spliced together type of films, but this time it's actually just one movie. One movie with three different themes going on though. Theme number one is the horror movie. In 200 BC, some Chinese guys bury a wooden box and place an amulet on top of it. I'm not just saying Chinese to be insensitive either. See? China. The box contains an ancient demon, and to make sure nobody knows what they did, one of the men gets to knocking heads off before turning the blade on himself. This is a cool ass opening, and I really wish the movie stuck with this theme all the way through, but instead, we get theme number two, the Kung Fu movie. After this film was released on home video, they changed the name to Gang Wars, and with the horror elements, you would think it wouldn't fit, but unfortunately, the movie does have a Gang Wars karate subplot. The star of this movie is a man named Warhawk Tanzania, a hell of a name if I've ever heard one, and he plays Luke Curtis, a name nowhere near as impressive. He runs a dojo, of course, and his best student, a guy named Rodan, is in a gang. Ironically, the only white man in a black gang. They have beef with the Asian gang in town, and naturally, everybody was kung fu fighting. This stuff drags, and it's made even worse by the amount of time that Luke and Rodan spend in China. Of course, they get there through movie teleportation, and the amount of time they spend there training is longer than the movie shows them even getting there. It's necessary though, because we needed to see Rodan stumble his way into a cave that has the amulet in it so he can take it. It's the only way it was ever going to get back to the States. It's a necessary evil, no pun intended. Then finally, theme number three, the detective movie. Even more precious time is spent on the cops trying to solve a string of murders. The murders are being done by the demon, who is trying to track down and destroy the amulet, but he hates light, so he's relegated to stalking people in the subway. This part, although time consuming, I don't totally have a problem with, because the lead detective is friends with Luke, and he's learning karate from him. So there's a conflicting relationship there, with Luke supporting his friend's gang and eventually having a reason to go after the monster against the detective's wishes. This movie could have used a recut. If it was treated as strictly a horror movie with Luke and the detective working together to save the town, I think it would have been a cult classic. The horror elements are pretty great and even a little bit creepy. When the demon spirit gets free, he catches a ride on a boat, but not as a spirit, it possesses a guy. And it took me a minute to figure out how they did this little creepy effect with the eyes. Then after a closer look, I noticed that they just told the guy to close his eyes and painted the eyelids. Not a bad idea on a budget, it works. Even the horror special effects are good. When the demon tears himself out of the guy's body, I feel like we're suddenly watching a much more expensive movie. Good God, what's happening? The movie has all kinds of gore in it, which is why I think it feels like a missed opportunity. All the other elements aren't nearly as good. The karate, for lack of a better word, sucks. Warhawk Tanzania is not convincing at all, nor does he have the charisma to be a memorable character. Jim Kelly, he is not. However, towards the end, when he has to face the monster one-on-one, somehow, some way, he all of a sudden feels like he fits into the story all along, despite really having nothing to do with the monster narrative. The demon uses all kinds of mind tricks to fight Luke, and when we finally see the monster up close and personal, it doesn't disappoint. This is the type of movie I wouldn't mind seeing getting a remake treatment, maybe under a different name and with a better script. Devil's Express is the perfect example of a movie trying to chase way too many trends all at once and being successful at none.